Good morning. Well, there's Rocky. I had the camera turned around pointing at me before I started the video, and then I thought Rocky looks better. So, he looks better with fur on him than I do. I'm kind of a scruffy looking outfit. But, anyway, I guess this is good morning. It's now just after 7 in the morning. And, yeah. Anyway, I should probably explain, because I've had a few people offer me money and stuff, and I should probably explain why I don't accept money from people. There are a few reasons. I appreciate that people want to help. I think it's very kind of people to want to help. But there's a few reasons why I don't accept money. I don't really like to accept any kind of help from anybody. And the reason for that is that I find it usually goes pear-shaped in a hurry. A lot of people, if you accept help from them, they start to think that they own you. And especially in my situation. And I've learned over the years that it's not good. It's bad for friendships. It's all, you end up accused of things that you haven't done. It's bad, So I just, like I say, with this YouTube channel, even though I appreciate where people are coming from, that they want to help me financially, I feel like if I accept donations from people, that'll cause people to think that they have some ownership beyond what they actually do of me or of the channel, or both. And that concerns me. Not that everybody would be that way, but there are a lot of people who are that way. A lot of people are that way without even realizing they're that way, or without intending to be that way, And I found this over the years. I don't want people to feel they have a right to tell me what I can do, or how I can be, or what I can put on my channel, or whatever. So that's part of it. And also, like I say, that the fact that it goes pear-shaped a lot. Accepting any kind of help from anybody seems to go pear-shaped a lot. So, at least I've found that to be the case anyway. And so that's part of it. Also, I'm not a good accountant. And in my situation, I'd have to keep track of everything. And, for taxation purposes, and also because I do get a small disability pension. It doesn't amount to much, but I do get it, and that makes me accountable. It's not enough to live on. That's why one of the reasons I'm in this situation. Because right now, the maximum pension I could receive, which I don't receive anymore because I'm homeless. They've actually cut my pension in half because I'm homeless. But even the maximum pension I could receive wouldn't pay rent. It literally wouldn't. Rent is now $2,000 a month. And the maximum pension I could receive is around $1,200 a month. So, as it stands, the pension I do receive now is like $700 a month. So, which, because I have a bunch of bills because of getting cheated on that truck deal with that, when I bought that truck in 2018, I'm still trying to pay that down. And also trying to heat the house that I did rent when I wasn't homeless. The house wasn't heated. The house was heated, but it wasn't insulated. And the heat was going out through the walls. I was shoveling snow up against the house to try to keep the heat in, and the snow would melt away from the walls because my heat was just going out through the walls. And even keeping the heat low just enough that the pipes didn't freeze, like keeping it down like at around 12 degrees, which I was always freezing in there in the wintertime. I was still going through a tank of oil in a month easily, and a tank of oil is $1,000. So I ended up in debt trying to heat the house so the pipes didn't freeze, basically. And so I'm still trying to pay that down, and that's hundreds of dollars a month that I have in debt just to make the minimum payments. And also now the cost of food and everything, propane to run my big buddy heater and stuff, that's all for the roof too. So yeah, even buying this truck, I bought this truck with money I saved from jobs that I've done, because I've been working at doing yard work and things like that for the last 2 years. I've been doing that. And that's all money I've saved from those jobs, and also some money I've made, collecting scrap metal on the side of the road and bringing it into town, into a scrap yard in town in a wheelbarrow and stuff like that. That's how I've done that. And the truck has to pay for itself, because I don't get enough money on my pension to put gas in the truck and pay the insurance and pay everything else. I just don't make enough money to do it. So the truck has to pay for itself, basically. I have to be able to make enough money with the truck, doing jobs with it, to justify the truck's existence in my life. But the bottom line is, I probably shouldn't even be putting all these numbers out there and telling people what I have coming in. But I probably shouldn't be doing that. But I'm just doing it because I want it to. I don't want to be accused of any wrongdoing. And that's partly why I don't accept money. But it's also, like I say, because of the accounting thing. Because even that small pension gives the government a right to be very intrusive in my life, which I don't like. Like most things with the government are traps, and getting any kind of money from the government is a trap. It's the same as going into geared to income housing. Geared to income housing is a trap. All of these things are traps, you know. So I don't like to receive anything from the government, really. And my goal is to build my business up to the point someday where I won't have to. Now, the pension thing has to do with my health having been affected by being used as a guinea pig for medical experiments when I was 8 years old. I talk about that in some other videos. I know that sounds crazy. It sounds bizarre, but it did happen. I spent 56 days in a place where I was given all sorts of weird drugs, including LSD, when I was 8 years old in 1976, and my health was permanently affected by it. And anyway, so yeah, life is hard, but we're getting by, and we will get by like we always have. And anyway, my refusal to accept help from people and to accept money has a lot to do just with my own inability to properly keep records, because I'm just horrible at that. I'm really bad with numbers. And so that's part of it. And also that I don't want to be ingratiated to anybody. I don't want people to feel like they have some hold over me or some control over me or whatever. And I'm not saying people offering money are trying to do that. I'm just saying that invariably that's what happens. If you accept help from people, that's what happens. So anyway, those are the reasons, and it doesn't mean I don't appreciate the idea of or the thought. I do. It's nice that people want to help me, and money is hard to come by these days. So I know, and anybody offering to help me is willing to make some sacrifice for me, which is really a touching thing, that they're willing to give up some of their money that they need to survive, to help me survive. And that is very much appreciated, and it touches me in a good way, but it's just that I just know there'll be a lot of drama come with it if I do that. If I start accepting money, there's going to be a lot of drama come with it. Plus, I'm such a bad record keeper that there's going to be issues. I have to keep records for my business even that I'm doing, and I struggle with that. I have a tough time keeping records for that. And so, like I say, I have to be very careful anyway. I can get into a lot of trouble in a hurry. But, yeah, that's basically it anyway. Those are the reasons why I don't like to accept money. But it doesn't mean the offers aren't appreciated, because they are. The other thing too is, if this channel goes big, I don't know that it will. It probably won't, but if it does, and I get to be too well known, then I'm going to have other YouTubers trying to, saying, well, that guy says he's living like that, but he really isn't. He's a liar. He's just doing it for money. Or they're going to claim that I'm making millions of dollars off donations, when maybe I'm making $1,000 a year or something off people donating money. But they'll be putting out videos saying, that guy, he's making millions off you fools, or whatever. And I'll have to deal with all that drama, and then people being mad at me because they think that that's the case. He could buy a mansion, but he's pretending to live in a camper, and he's duping you or something. That's, I'd have to deal with all that. People trying to capitalize on my situation by claiming that I'm getting a lot more money than I'm getting, and that I'm conning people or whatever. Like, I just know false accusations will come with that money. And I've had to deal with false accusations in my personal life before, and it was tough, and it's been tough. And so I don't want to go down that road again. Just recently I found out that somebody who didn't want me talking to somebody else frightened that other person and turned that other person against me before they ever met me, by telling them that I was threatening to start an arson fire. It was all lies, but the reason was they were trying to cover their tracks, because they had told lies to both me and this other person, and they didn't want us getting together and comparing notes, which we have now done, because we have met, and this other person has found that I'm not the monster that they were told I was, and we actually have compared notes. Anyway, I can't say too much because I could cause problems for this other person. I may already have done that with what I've said. But I'm just using that as an example of what happens. And I've come up against that so many times. I've had rumors going around in my hometown that I'm a pedophile, which I'm not. I've had the police trying to accuse me of doing break-and-enters in the area. This was years ago, and it turned out the reason for that was they were trying to protect an informant who actually was doing break-and-enters. A known thief in the area, who was not only a thief but a rat, it turns out. And they wanted to protect him because he was of value to them. And I was running the roads in that area, and I was walking the ditches up and down, picking cans and any scrap metal and any refundable bottles I could find out of the ditches. And so, because my vehicle was in that area a lot, and I was seen in that area a lot where the break-ins were happening, they decided I'd be the one to take the fall for it. And they tried to frame me for break-and-enter. For several break-and-enters. In the meantime, the informant was getting away with it because he was of value to them. 2 OPP officers tried to do that to me, and I found out from a person connected to that system that one of those OPP officers was so angry with me because I didn't go to jail for those break-ins that I didn't do, and because he felt that I was disrespectful to him while he was trying to frame me up, that he had openly talked about murdering me and making it look like an accident or a suicide. He discussed that with other police officers, how that might be done. So, I mean, it gets pretty serious, It really does. And after that, when I was walking the roads, picking cans and bottles and scrap metal, I used to think all it would take is for that cop to come up behind me in a patrol car and run me over. and just keep going. If there's nobody around, I'd just be found dead on the side of the road, and who'd be to say how it happened or what happened? And I had 2 different OPP officers tell me one time that I was going to be found dead in a ditch, or different times, but 2 different ones at different times told me I was going to be found dead in a ditch with a bullet in my head. And nobody would ever know how it happened. So, I've dealt with a lot of drama anyway with people and with accusations and stuff. And that's the reason that I don't like to get too heavily involved with things like that, with accepting money or accepting help or whatever. That's why I like to stay really pretty much aloof and independent from other people. Anyway, that's it for now. Like I say, this isn't so that you'll feel sorry for me. It's just so that you'll understand that I don't accept money from people, and it isn't a personal thing against anybody who's offered me money. I'm not accusing anybody of being a bad person by offering me money. I appreciate it, and I understand that you want to help, and I know it's coming from a good place, but I also know if I start accepting money at some point, it's going to go really bad for me. And that's why it just isn't worth it to me. And I will manage. Yeah, I have managed up to this point, and I'll continue to manage. Although I got to admit, life is getting really tough. It's getting tougher and tougher every day. But then it's doing that for all of us. So, one way or another, if you're not homeless yet, you're probably barely hanging on and trying not to be homeless. In my case, I'm already at the homeless part. I'm already at that stage, but I know there's a lot of people like me out there, and there's a lot of people heading in that direction, unfortunately. And like I said in other videos, that's all by design. This is what the powers that be want for us. Alrighty, that's it for now. We'll talk to you later. Look at Rocky sleeping. He's pretty cute. Alright, he's my best friend, Bye for now.